Hey guys, welcome back to Midas. Today's video is on shooters, so I wanted to do a separate video just on your shooting strings because I think that it really deserves its own video because there's a bunch of different things that go about it. Anyways, first off, right here we got a Maverick U strung up, nice pocket. Just released a video about this the other day. Go check out that video for the pocket pattern. Really nice, came out super clean, a little bit mid-high than mid-low for a quicker release. Anyways, back to today's video, shooters. So, when the ball's coming out of the stick, the shooters are what affects the release point, okay? So more whip is going to catch it and then ended up going downwards, right? So you're going to have to snap your wrist back a little bit further behind your head. And then less whip is going to be a little bit quicker release and make the ball go up more. So, and you're going to follow through a little bit more. So you're going to use more of a coming all the way through motion for no whip and then more of a snapping motion for whip. I like to play with no whip because I really like to follow through on my shots. I don't like to stop myself short because I think it teaches better mechanics. Anyways, so the shooters determine whip. My theory is that you should be able to throw and shoot and pass perfectly fine with no shooters in your stick if you strung it up properly. So that's just my theory. I think that that's what really determines if a stick is going to throw good or shoot good or be consistent or not. The shooters are just a little personal touch to say, oh, I want a little bit more whip, I want a little bit less whip. That's really all that the shooter should determine. It shouldn't be determining hold or anything like that. That should all be done by the way that you string it up. Anyways, so let's turn this around here and I'll show you guys a couple different ways to do shooters. The easiest way for people to learn is, let's see here, where do I want to put my shooters? Okay, so I'm going to go on this one. Oops. I'm going to go on this 9 diamond right here. The easiest way for kids to learn is just to start out by weaving it through the stick on that same row. Finish off down in there. Curl it back. I always like to curl my shooters around the side walls just because I think it looks clean. I guess it's just an aesthetic thing. It doesn't really change how it throws or whatnot. So now I'm going to come back around the side wall and I'm basically just going to weave the opposite. Alright, let me get some more shooter here. So now I'm just going to weave it the opposite way, coming up underneath. Let's go a little closer for you guys. Curling around right here. Making sure it's not folded over itself, right? So these spots right here is what you want to cover up, right? And you want to make sure that you cover those up on the front side as well. Okay, so here and there and there. Alright, so now we're going to come up and over, and then down and through, and then up and over, and down and through, and up and over, and down and through. Same thing repeated, right? So now that we have our shooter strung up, right? This is how we determine width, right? So if I pull this shooter tight, like that, making it real tight, it's going to hit that ball. I mean, not necessarily this shooter exactly because it's a little bit higher, but the tighter our shooters are, I usually have 3 softs in is the shooter setup that I play with. So if on this one down here, if it's tighter, it's going to catch the ball more and it's going to whip down. But the looser it is, I like to play with looser shooting strings because I think it's a little bit more consistent. Then the looser you have it, the more it's just going to kind of roll off those shooters and just be a little bit more accurate than normal. So that's one way to do shooters. Let me undo this real fast and then I'll show you the way that I like to do it. It's a little bit faster. So that was the easiest way to do the shooters when you're kind of learning. That's how I started out. Now, I started doing it this way a while ago, and I found that it's a lot more faster, and it just, I don't know, it takes less time. It kind of gets some getting used to, though. So you're going to wrap it around this side wall, just like that, okay? And you're going to have both ends on either side, and you're going to do them at the same time. So I want to put it on this 9 diamond again, and I just want to cross them. Let me pull my hand out of the way there for you guys. I just want to cross them and pull each one through. And then do the same thing over and over again. And then we finish off, and it took a lot less time to put a shooter in. So you can crank out a couple shooters in like a couple minutes real fast. Pulling everything tight, making sure that everything looks all nice and even. Now I'll put some other shooters in too, just so you can see the setup, and I'll explain a little bit more about the whip. Now that we got all 3 of our shooters in, looking the same one on each, right? So now here's what I was talking about the whip. So this shooter right here, this bottom one, I like to have pretty loose because I don't like the ball to catch on it right there. So that's what I was talking about, is as it's coming up the stick, it's going to hit the shooter and then it's going to go on from there. So normally the traditional setup is tightest, medium, loose. So it's got a nice just roll off to it. And that's what I try to go by. Sometimes it determines on how I want the ball to release, if I want it to be more smooth and I don't like to feel the ball come out, or if I like to feel it hit each shooter individually. That's kind of what that tight, medium, loose is about, is kind of feeling it hit each shooter individually. I like to have all of them pretty loose because I like to have a nice smooth release. I don't like to feel it hit the shooters that much, so I have each one pretty loose. Again, that's just my personal preference. So, I mean, it's really, really fun to just kind of play around with the shooters and just tailor it to your specific liking. That's the beauty about this game, guys, is that it's just no other sport has this kind of customization and individuality. So, that's pretty much it on the shooters, guys. Pretty simple. Just get some practice in. It doesn't take very long. Just string one up, take it out again, string one up, take it out again, and you'll be able to crank them out real fast. So that's all there is, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. I hope you learned something today. That's how we do it the Midas way over here at Midas Strings. We'll catch you later. See you.